everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of the Realist Real Estate Show. I'm your host, Andrea Fasano, coming to you from literally the comforts of my own home. Hope you guys are staying well. And I really just want to say a big thanks. I've had a really overwhelming response to the show so far. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking the video. I'm pretty sure that response had to do with my character of a mother, who was my first guest. She's also a real estate agent out of South Carolina. So if you didn't catch it, go to my Instagram at AndySellsNewYork. You can find the link in my bio. And make sure to tune in every week as we have experts throughout the real estate business and from all over the country, which brings me to my next guest. She hails from Los Angeles, California. Her name is Kerry. Let's get to meet her. Okay, so my guest today is someone I met in Los Angeles many moons ago. We were both attending the famous Groundlings Improv School. And for anyone who's familiar with improv, it not only helps you when it comes to thinking off the cuff, but also working with all different types of people. And what better skill to learn than that for the real estate business? Her name is Kerry Kimble, and although she is only a few years into her real estate business, her diligence and focus on her career has it absolutely taking off. Kerry told me that within her first year, she made more money than she did her entire acting career, which is kind of amazing, but also very inspiring. She's a numbers girl, which I've coined her, and I'm sure that's why her results basically speak for themselves. She studies the market day in and day out and makes sure she has her hand on the pulse of what's going on in the areas by her that she mainly sells in. It's Los Angeles, California that she's hailing from. And my friend Kerry, everyone. Kerry, welcome to the Realist Real Estate Show. Thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you. Thanks. That was quite an introduction. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And Carr, we have so much to talk about. We did a little pre-interview yesterday, and we could just go on for hours. We're not going to do that here. We're going to keep it to around 40 minutes. But we're going to jump right in with you because you are so on top of your game when it comes to real estate in California, and we just have so much to cover. Everything from the pandemic and how it's affecting your market, which I know you said changes by the hour, not just day by day, but also, to the fact that you're constantly seeking out training and extensive training and classes, and you really know what books are good, what reads to get in, if you're a new real estate agent. So let's talk about why it's so important to you and your business for real estate agents everywhere to do the same, to really dive into their career and know what's going on.
Well, I just think that the business has probably changed from, just like putting an ad in the paper and or waiting for somebody to walk into your office. And I feel like clients deserve their agent, their realtor, to really have a pulse on the market and be up to date with the most cutting edge ways to market their properties or to help them locate a new home.
Right. So what do you love most about the real estate business? Like I said, you are so passionate about it. You are so incredibly focused. I mean, you make me jealous with how focused you are in your career and the numbers that I know you're going to spew a ton while we're on this call. So tell me about what it is that makes you love it so much.
Honestly, I think what I like the most is I'm a matchmaker.
So I love that.
That's what I like. It's like I like taking somebody's, assessing what somebody is looking for and finding it, just delivering it on a silver platter. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
So well. Like today.
I'm thirsty too.
Yeah. Today I was really excited because I did some research on a market, and I have this couple that I sold a duplex to, and it was in Highland Park, and I sold it to them for $825,000.
Wow.
And I found out today that 5 doors down, they bought this in November 2018 for $825,000. 5 doors down, the home that's similar square footage sold for $1.375.
Wow.
So being able to deliver value to my clients, that is what makes me happy. That's what it's all about. And then, or you have a problem, like your client can't find anything on the market, and then you just like reach out to everybody you know, and then you find something that is about to come on, and you put them in first position so that they can get their dream property. So it's fun. It's kind of like, it's sort of like a puzzle.
To that point, you are someone who goes well above and beyond. And you actually told me a story about this woman who is looking for a fat house in Venice. And I want you to tell everyone that story because that is an example of you and what you do and who you are in this business and how you really went above and beyond to find this woman exactly what she was looking for in a market that wasn't very available.
Right. Yes, it was. So this was last summer, and Venice is just like, in a lot of neighborhoods, it's, they're like, it's, gentrifying neighborhood, right? In Venice, it's not like, they're not rehabbing properties. They're completely upscaling. Like this is
Wow.
way different, a way different level. And I mean, like, who doesn't want to live by the beach? So, so we were looking, we probably went to 20 open houses. We put an offer in on one house that actually the agent said that they didn't have any offers yet. And by the time I got to the office to write up the offer, they already had an offer and they were opening escrow. I'm like, are you kidding me? So we were backup offer, and they were completely heartbroken because they really wanted this house. So anyway, I mean, like, I was diligent and checking on how that escrow was going so that if that, other buyer didn't perform, my people are ready to go. But that didn't work out, and that's really great that it didn't because we found something amazing. But they were getting really frustrated, and I thought, they had two babies, twins.
Wow.
And, they had outgrown their current home, and they really needed something bigger, but they were getting really, really frustrated because it's just like, it's a feeding fest.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just determined. I'm like, I cannot let these people down. I am going to find them the house. And I found them a house with a yard, with a pool, with a driveway, and with a garage. And in Venice Beach, that is a tall order. But what I did, the first thing I did was I actually went around the neighborhood and dropped little cards on every single house saying, hey, I have a buyer that wants to live in this area. They're already pre-qualified. This is their budget. This, and nobody called me. But I was putting it out there, and I knew something was going to come back from the effort. But that's not how I found the house. So then,
still very extremely diligent. So
yes, then I reached out to every single agent in like Beverly Hills, Santa Monica, Venice, just to find out, hey, what do you have? What's coming to the market? And obviously searching the MLS, all day long. But and then I reached out to wholesalers. Anybody who was in the real estate game, I was calling or emailing.
wow.
And how I found the house was I actually reached out to my title rep, Nathan Stark of Chicago Title, who is absolutely a dream to work with. And he had he knew someone who knew someone, and they shot me over the renderings. Like, this place wasn't even done being built.
Wow.
Yeah, so like they knew of it, but so anyway, I showed it to my client. They were interested, and the rest is history.
Bada bing, bada boom. That's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. So, but this was in 2019. So,
But still, just last year to, like I said, go above and beyond like that. Like, you could have just said, hey, I'm gonna diligently check MLS every day, which for anyone who doesn't know is the multiple listing service that is offered to us. And everything has to be posted and updated and reported as to what's going on in the market. But you were like, nope, that's not good enough. Let's just get these guys their house.
yes.
And it worked out.
Yes.
Unbelievable. So that right there is a testament to what type of real estate agent you are. Let's go back to the beginning. You just get started. Tell me a little bit, because I know you've even sent me a list of things and people and authors and books to read and agents to follow, and what you took from all of them and what's important, like who you think is really good in this business to look up to and follow kind of the rules that they've set for this business?
Okay. Gosh, that's a lot. Um, okay.
Sorry.
So as far as like,
Do your best.
if you're an agent, if you're just starting out, like I highly recommend Real Estate Coach. I'm a huge fan of Tom Ferry. He's amazing. He teaches, I mean, he teaches his agents to be lions, you know, to not retreat. Like we're in the middle of a pandemic, and I know that there are a lot of agents that have just gone dark. And it's like, this is when your clients need you the most, you know, like, come on, why, you know, you can't bake bread all day long. You need to get
But
away from
sourdough
the
is such
oven.
a big thing right now. It's all about the sourdough.
Yeah, get away from the oven, get away from the carbohydrates, like, you know, just do the work and be there for your clients. So huge fan of Tom Ferry. I mean, I've learned so much from his coaching program. Let's see. I mean, there's so, and then like I'm friends with a lot of realtors on Facebook, so it's really nice to be able to R&D things and mastermind, and I have a really large network of realtors like all across the U.S. So it's like if I have someone that's moving to Michigan, I got a guy for them, you know, which is great because then I can service my people even more by, you know, putting them, you know,
Together, connecting them.
hooking them up with the
Totally.
right person in the market.
Now, how did you do that? Was that all social media based? And what gave you the motivation to connect with these people when you're just trying to sell in your own backyard? Obviously, there's the referral system, but like, how do you even know these people are the right ones to trust? And how did you connect with them?
Well, I actually connected with all these agents through Tom Ferry.
Okay.
So, I mean, there are thousands of, you know, the top producing agents across the U.S. And you see, you know, you follow them, you see how they're doing. They're talking the talk and they're walking the walk. So you can tell they're successful and they're client driven, client focused, and so it's been really great to have like a really strong network of people to work with.
Yeah, it sounds it. And you basically got that like a one-stop shop right there.
Yes.
So I'll definitely put that in the bio below. So what is it like out there in California right now with the pandemic going on? I know it's a lot different in each market, you know, market to market. I was talking to my mother in South Carolina last week. She doesn't have the same stay in place orders that we have. Yes, they have to be cautious. Yes, they have to be even more cautious because she's in a 55 and older community.
Wow.
So, you know, someone gets sick down there and it's like a fire, like it breaks down. Like you don't want something like that happening, but it's a little more lax. What's it like by you guys?
Well, we have a stay-at-home order, and real estate. I think it was March 23rd that it was deemed an essential business. But at first it wasn't, and then it was deemed an essential business. But like when I say you know, it's changing hour by hour, like the rules for what you can do, it seems to change like day by day. So I check in with my broker to see what's happening because yesterday I was reading a new stay-at-home order from April 10th, and it was like, yes, you know, commercial and residential real estate is an essential service. However, you can only bring two people from the same household to a vacant property, and there can't be a seller there, and you have to, like, you know, gloves and booties and masks and, you know, sanitize, and can't touch anything. All the doors have to be open. But the main thing was it's a vacant property. So I'm like, okay, but not everybody has an extra house to sell. What about the sellers, you know, who are still living in their home? So I talked to my broker about that. I'm lucky I work for EXP. It's a virtual brokerage. Ooh. So even though, you know, there's a pandemic, we're all still working. We have a virtual world. We just, you know, walk in, have our little meetings, have our contracts classes. We don't stop. So I walked in and I said, okay, so I read over this order. What about somebody that is living in their home? And so that brought her to, there's a new contract. It's a PEAD form and Carr forms in Los Angeles. And basically this just, you know, anybody who goes into a property that, you know, is not vacant has to sign this form. And the seller can't be there, and the seller has to sign it, acknowledging the dangers of having somebody come into their house. Right. You know, it's just so
And it's protection for everybody
Yes.
all around. I was just looking it up because of the changes that happen minute by minute. Here, we were considered essential as of April 9th. So you guys were way ahead of us
Mhm.
as far as that goes. And now, and like you said, it's been dead until then that hits. And now people are starting to call and talk. And you're like, do I take these people to this house? Do I drop
Yeah.
the key and back away and let them go in if it's vacant?
Hmm.
Ethically, how do you feel versus what the rules are as of today?
I feel like if somebody, okay, there are safe things that you can practice.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in the beginning, people have just kind of been waiting to see, okay, how bad is this actually going to be? How dangerous is the situation? I mean,
Right.
obviously it is. Now, if somebody has to buy or sell, because there are situations that do come up in life where someone has to sell their home, they need to move closer to, an older parent, or, they're moving to another state for work or whatever. Like, you can't put everything on hold for this, but you can practice, follow all the guidelines and do this in a safe manner. So, but like I have a client who should be putting them. Well, I have someone that is going to be putting their home on the market one day, but it's just she's got to work on her place, and it's just not the right time to have a crew of people in her place tearing it up to rehab it to put it on the market. So,
Right.
in that case, it's just like, let's just kind of wait for this to, settle a little bit. But I I wanted to bring up some things that, even though, there have been some agents, we're kind of waiting to see what's happening, and maybe the market isn't like as crazy. Uh, in some areas it actually still is. It's booming, and it hasn't slowed down at all. And it's one of the areas that I like a lot. It's Highland Park in Northeast LA. So I was doing research on that today, and I just did it from April 1st until April 15th. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do it on a really yucky time period. Let's see what happens, because this is yucky right now.
Yeah.
And in this yucky time period, like, first of all, there are 32 homes on the market right now, which is great. But 10 of them came in the market within the last 2 weeks, and nine properties actually have gone into escrow. Eight of them sold for over asking price. So I was looking at the stats for March.
Right.
The homes in Highland Park in March sold for 107% of the listing price.
See, this is what I mean by numbers. Like, listen to her.
Well, it's crazy, because you would think, oh, it's a pandemic, the market's going to crash. Well, I mean, one of the reasons why I'm looking into this is because I want to have the data to give to my clients. I want to be able to say, well, as of April 15th, this is what I know for Highland Park. This is
Right.
what I know for Studio City. And different markets are going to vary. So that's why it's important to have, a realtor that specializes in a particular market and can break it down. But what was even more insane for Highland Park in March, homes sold, we're on the market an average of 19 days, 19, compared to a year ago, the same month, March 2019.
Where there wasn't a pandemic going on.
When there wasn't a pandemic going on, and the average day on market was 39.
Do you think that there's something to be said about the fact that people are trying to take advantage, like anyone who saw it coming or was really listening to the news, that they were just trying to take advantage of what was happening at the time and say, hey, I need to get in, I need to get out, whatever the case may be, ahead of time?
I'm sure that varies by
Right.
case basis. I'm sure, definitely, but there isn't like price slashing.
Right.
As a matter of fact, the price per square foot was $692, and the average, and the whole, like, all of 2018 didn't hit an average of $692.
Yeah, I don't really
2019,
see that
sorry.
happening. No, that's okay. I don't see that happening here much either with the slash pricing yet. Some people are predicting it will.
Hmm.
Who knows until it actually happens. And
Exactly.
I have a really important question for you though. Since you hang out in Highland Park area, isn't Billie Eilish from there? Do you see her anywhere?
I haven't seen her.
Okay,
I
just that
haven't.
hair, you can check it out.
I'll look
It's
for
probably
it.
easy to
I'll
scope
be
out.
like, Andy says, hey, that is important. She's awesome.
She is awesome.
Um, yeah. So, one thing I was gonna say, one
Yeah.
thing that is advantageous about this market right now, like LA's just it's crazy with real estate. Anything that's worth having, there's gonna be multiple offers. If it's
Yeah.
priced correctly, multiple offers. So if you are looking to buy and are in position, you have a great credit score, you have your jobs, and you're motivated to buy, now's great because you're not going to compete against 11 different offers. And the thing is when you find yourself in a multiple offer situation, that price is going to go up.
Right.
So even though prices aren't slashed right now, you're not going to be in a situation where well, in Highland Park you could, but you may not be in a situation where it's going to go 75,000 over asking.
Right.
So, that keep that in mind.
I think that's a really good point. And while we're on numbers,
Hmm.
you gave me a number yesterday of the GDP. Do you want to
Yes.
talk about that with
Yeah,
the
I'm trying to remember the number.
17.2?
Okay, so one of a very valuable research resource that I like is Keeping Current Matters. It's Steve Harney's company,
Okay.
where I get a lot of my real estate data and graphs and all this and that from. I think I
Graphs,
told you.
people, graphs.
Yes, and I think I told you about that. But basically, I was on a call. I've been on webinars. I've been on conference calls to, really be able to navigate the market, see what's going on. And he was talking about how the housing market actually accounts for 17.9% of the GDP,
Wow.
which is amazing. 2000 and like 2007, 2008, like the housing market is what contributed, is what caused the recession.
Hmm.
The housing market just might be the thing that pulls us out of it. So that's another thing. As real estate agents, we have a duty to like help our clients and to help the economy.
Yeah, that's a really, really valid point. And I liked before you were talking about it and we got caught up with something else, but no same customer or client is the same. No case is the same. No buying, no selling, no story is ever the same. And that's why you keeping your hand on, like I said, the pulse of the action and what's going on is really important. And it doesn't seem like you're killing yourself to do it. It seems like you get through your day, you're on your webinars, you jump around, and you just are getting some valuable information out there and it's helping you move forward, which is
Yes.
huge.
Yes.
That's
Because
awesome.
my plan right now is just to provide value to my friends, my family, all my clients, so that when they're ready to make a move, we know what's been happening, we know
Right.
what's going on, and we'll know when the right time is to strike.
That's great.
So, yeah.
So let's go back to the beginning now, because I did say that you started in acting, and not only do we talk about how that could help you in this business, like we said, with not only the improv, but then also with just being an actress and kind of putting it on the scripts. You talk about scripts so
Yeah.
much. I had not heard anyone talk about the idea of having a script for real estate before I spoke with you. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I mean, it's like it can be when you're approaching your clients, and there's so many. It's real estate. It's like someone's most valuable asset, and there's a lot of objections, a lot of considerations that you have to handle, and it's just kind of like just knowing how to talk to people.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's just basically, this is more for real estate agents, just
Right.
to kind of like, yeah, it's important to know how to discuss how to list somebody's home. Nobody wants you to come into their home and wing a listing presentation.
Mm-hmm.
They want to see that you've actually taken a lot of time to think about the most compelling way to market their home, especially in this market.
So talk about your acting career and like kind of how that transition worked for you with all of this. Because I'm sure it was was it a big difference? Was it easy? Was it difficult?
Um, okay, well, I was ready for a change. I'm like, I cannot be in the car an hour each way to Santa Monica one more time, like this is not paying off. It's
Yeah,
just
for
not.
everyone who doesn't know, she actually lives in Glendale, so
Yeah.
that's quite a commute
Yes.
for an
So
audition, right?
yeah, just for an audition.
Yeah.
And like I did some national commercials, I did some independents, I did some web series and stuff like that. But I was just like, look, this isn't this, I stopped being fulfilled. And then I went to like stand-up comedy, which was great. But I was like, okay, I cannot be in a green room with these people anymore. Like,
You
but
actually were. You were very good stand-up comic, but that's because
thanks.
you are such a fun personality, and that really came out, every time I went to see you.
Thank you. But it was
Awesome.
just kind of like I was ready for a change. And my family, my grandfather came from Norway. He was a developer in Edina, Minnesota. My mother was a real estate agent. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should just do what my family did.
I didn't
Maybe
know that
that'll work.
about you.
Huh?
I didn't know that about you.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right. And I love it.
Let's talk about 3 pieces of advice that you would give anyone just getting into the real estate market, or for anyone, I mean, you could change it up, or for anyone who's recently looking to sell their home.
Okay, well, first of all, if you are a seller in this market, I would make sure that, whoever you're working with is really up on how to market your home virtually. I mean, it's all virtual, virtual, virtual. Because you don't want some willy-nilly person walking into your home when they're not really sure if they just want to see it.
Right.
No, no one's going to just want to see it, no.
And that's
Virtual
going to
first.
last long after the pandemic
Yes. I think it's
hopefully
absolutely
goes away.
100%. I think it's really going to change the way realtors do business. As a matter of fact, I think this pandemic is going to change how everybody does business or socializing these days. I mean, now you don't have to get in the car to go for cocktails with your friends, just be like,
And it's so much cheaper.
yeah, for sure, definitely. And it's not a long walk to the bed. It's great.
Right.
So, okay, so virtual tours, and also like YouTube videos. Like I feel like you would want your realtor to have an online presence, with Instagram, Facebook, with YouTube, because there are a lot of people that are like tuning into that kind of stuff, and you want someone who knows how to advertise on Instagram and YouTube. You want somebody who knows how to target, all the people, in the area, like, 15 miles around the area
Right.
that you're trying to sell. Or you want somebody who knows, what companies are relocating here. Maybe you need to call some of those companies and be like, hey, I have a property for sale. If any of your people are relocating. I mean, you got to think outside of the box.
Yes.
I think that's the main thing, is like, get a realtor that's going to think outside of the box, and then make sure that you have someone that will communicate with you and explain things, like go over the contracts with you and like really take their time. I feel like it's important, just like you said earlier, that every client is different, every situation is different, and I feel like every transaction needs to be custom tailored to the client's needs.
Good points, Kerry. I really like it.
Thank
For
you.
you, thinking outside of the box, what does that mean? Like, where can people find you?
Okay, so on Facebook, I am Kerry Kimble Real Estate. So Kerrykimble Real Estate. On Instagram, I'm Savvy Gal Real Estate.
So
And
cute.
I do have a YouTube channel too. Just punch in Kerry Kimble.
Anything else you want to add?
Speaking about other ways to market, sometimes like Facebook Live is a good way to do it because of the algorithm with Facebook. You get more views and all this kind of stuff, and then your stuff shows up in people's feeds. So, but that terrifies me because it's like, first of all, I can't control what's going to come out of my mouth. And then what if I get heckled? Like, that goes back from being at the comedy store.
Right.
I mean, people say awful things to me. So I did that because I was going to conquer my fear. And then, just as soon as I turn off the phone, whatever the thing was, I get this text like, hi, I'm so-and-so. from Pasadena, and I'm alone and single. And I'm like, yeah.
And this is all from you doing a Facebook Live pertaining to real estate.
Yes. And so, oh my gosh. So anyway, I just said, I'm really sorry that you're alone. This is a really hard time, because I don't want to be heartless and just be like block, but that's probably what a normal person would do.
Yeah.
But then, you know, and then he wanted a haircut. He asked me if I knew how to cut hair. Like, okay, like, I'm not coming over to your house to give you a haircut because A, I'm not good with scissors, and B, if you chop me up and put me in a box in a million pieces, you know, and no one's going to come to my funeral because of the social distancing. Like, this cannot happen. So I just said, thumbs down. I don't know how. And then I just had to end it with, like, this is my business number. If you'd like to chat, you can message me on Facebook. Take care.
If you need a real estate agent.
I'm a real estate agent. Do you need any help? He's like, no, I just need a haircut. I'm like, how does a market report make you think that I know how to cut hair?
That right there is the epitome of you as a comedian and LA. Like, the fact that is so only in LA, you know, that would happen.
So anyway, I guess it's going to happen when you put yourself out there, you know.
You get one bad apple for hopefully a couple good sales.
Yeah, but I mean, I hope he finds some friends and he gets his haircut and he does well. I hope everybody survives this pandemic. You know, I don't blame anybody reaching out during this time. I mean,
right.
I'm like, well, you know, okay. Back.
Oh my gosh, that's hysterical. Well, do you have any other stories like that? Because I feel like you've got to have 1,000.
Geez, I haven't even. Oh my God. Oh Lord. Okay, so the first real estate team I worked on in LA, they had this home in Boyle Heights that they were going to rehab, and the thing is when a home goes vacant in Los Angeles, and if you don't board it up and post from the police department, you're going to get squatters in there. Mm-hmm. And like, I don't know why they sent me down to this property.
Oh no.
But like, I'm there and I see like people like breaking into the property and like going in just like it's their house, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm feisty, but I am not going to kick I don't know who is in there. And I was just like, you know, and I was actually there because I had to meet a police officer about putting up these signs. Right. And the police officer said the people that go into those properties and squat, I mean, they're drug addicts, they're homeless people, they're people that are running from the law. Right. I don't know how they get out of jail. I mean, if they can get into jail, they get out of jail, they can get into a vacant home.
Right, of course.
So I'm like, oh, so glad I didn't go in there. And yeah, it's just. But
that is a crazy story.
Yeah, so that's scary. So by the way, this goes to clients and realtors. Like, you go into a vacant house that's been vacant for a while. Like, seriously, be careful. Yep. You know, like, I
tell
know
people where you're going. Have your phone on you.
Pepper spray.
Honk the horn a few times once you're outside.
Yeah, like be careful.
That's great advice, and it's very true, and it's one of the first things you learn as a real estate agent. I mean, safety is a huge section in the class that we all take. So, good point, Kerry.
Yes.
All right. Well, you are hilarious. Thank you so much again for coming on the show and joining me and sharing your antics and stories and all the good information you have about being a real estate agent and just being someone in the market for a house. And as always, I wish you so much luck and good health. Stay sane, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Same to you.
Absolutely. Mwah.
Mwah.
Thanks so much to Kerry for joining us on the show, entertaining us while also providing us with some excellent information. To follow Kerry, I'll have all of her social media info below this video, as well as some of the people she mentioned throughout the show. And you guys, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and you can follow me at Andy Sells New York on Instagram. Thanks so much for being here. Tune in next week for another awesome guest. And until then, I'll see you next time.